Welcome to the Pocket Protectors. I'm Steve Benz of Net Intentions. Does your First Amendment rights extend into cyberspace? Or can foreign governments censor you online? I want to start the show right away and get into that important topic. Joining us by telephone is Matt Regis of Regis and Associates. Matt, what do you think?
This is something that, when I was reading about this in the past few days, it really infuriates me, the whole idea that foreign governments, and particularly even our own to some extent, would try to suppress what we can and can't say and do online.
Now, what do you think is, how do we fight that back? Why is it, are we really just kind of flexing our muscles? I mean, what do you really think?
Well, I think one of the ways we fight back against it is companies like a Yahoo, companies that do have financial resources behind them and huge teams of lawyers, don't just back down and don't just roll over. And one of the things that I've found very interesting the past few years, particularly having started a financial website called Raging Bull, is how willing a lot of large companies are to turn over personal, identifiable information about their members to third parties just because it's been threatened. And that's something that, I can't say I'm a very big fan of.
Jeff Meredith of the iStreet Report, you see a lot of this. What are your thoughts of censoring, essentially, Americans?
I mean, this is inevitable if you look at the conflicts between laws we have on the books and other nations do. Everybody's tackling law in the new economy, or we all know new economy is a fluff term. But regardless, online you're going to see some difficult conflicts. Obviously, in this case, it's involving something very sensitive topic, Nazi items, obviously, that were being auctioned online, and French government has a prohibition against that. The U.S. government doesn't necessarily have that in place, and I think we shouldn't be shut down in any way because of what foreign governments are putting in place. I mean, we have to stand our ground. I would agree with Matt, certainly not just to keel over in court, but actually make this an issue. Right.
I mean, we really are the internet. We dominate it all. We're the main users. So can we really just call the shots?
Well, I mean, that's going to play out in court here, but I don't think we can be. If you wind up being too lenient and basically giving way to other people's wishes, I think that eventually you're giving up everything that you can have out there. You're limiting speech. You're limiting everything that's placed online, things that you can purchase, things that you can view. I mean, if you give in everybody's wishes, basically there's no content in the end.
Right. Now, man, I think if I read the report right, that Yahoo is being supported by the ACLU not to give out this information and to protect our rights.
That's right. The ACLU is backing them in this. The interesting thing is, I remember, the past few years, the ACLU has actually been against Yahoo because Yahoo was, very well known for on message boards, when they've been threatened with a suit, about someone making disparaging remarks about someone else, Yahoo has happily turned over, user information. But in this case, the ACLU is behind them.
Now, Stephen Mead of G-Bucks, do you have any fears of really the ACLU taking care of us, but foreign governments saying, no, we can censor you?
No, I think a lot of the privacy issues have come down through the internet. The ACLU wants to look at things, and more of the privacy issues internationally versus domestically really come down to us trying to protect our own information. The ACLU trying to jump in and help us out, I don't think is necessarily going to be beneficial.
Now, how are you protecting your users? Are you doing that extra mile to make sure that everyone that deals with you is going to be safe, even over, say, in France, England, etc.?
On the privacy issues or the personal information?
No, your privacy issues. I'm certainly there's probably some type of personal information, right?
Well, a lot of the privacy issues come down to just not only trying to protect the information, but personally, I think there's a responsibility for a lot of the organizations to notify people much sooner. The things that we look at have always been on the consumer basis for identity theft and personal information being stolen and used for nefarious purposes. And I think the organizations can do a lot more to notify people a lot sooner in terms of when their information's been stolen or compromised. And that really can go a long way towards not only protecting the privacy, but creating issues for a lot of the fraud to be stopped. And that's where the real concerns are.
I mean, you see this happen commonly with universities. I remember last year a contrast between Indiana University and Utah. Both had Social Security numbers, student numbers that were compromised. Utah told students within 3 days, and they were able to avert a lot of the things that would have happened. Indiana waited for 18 days. And in fact, there wasn't even communication between departments. The Bursar's office knew after 14 days and then decided to not tell the administration until 4 days later because they didn't want the whip come down on them. So, I mean, you not only have, there's so many hurdles actually directly communicating with people and having that responsibility to them. I mean, even the inner bureaucracy can prevent that from happening. So I do think disclosure is an important issue.
Right. Now, Matt, with Yahoo being the main platform here, I almost sense this is almost a flip-flop. If the Yahoo at one time would turn over people's identities from message boards and things of that sort. Is this setting a precedent that Yahoo and the rest of AOL and everyone else in the marketplace are going to be able to protect privacy issues?
You know, I'm not sure if they are flip-flopping here. As far as I understood, they were still turning over user information. You know, one requested, I don't know the exact details there, but I know under you know, police and court orders are turning over that information. I think it's going to be very interesting to see what happens here. I really hope Yahoo does stand its ground. Clearly in this country, you know, we view the Internet as an open, free forum, and just because there are views out there that we might all find despicable and might all disagree with, hopefully, you know, in regards to Nazi memorabilia, you know, clearly those people still have a right to put that information on there, and Yahoo, just by displaying it, is not necessarily supporting it and shouldn't be, you know, persecuted like the French government would like to do to them.
Yeah, I mean, Army Navy stores always put this stuff out there. I mean, those stores aren't necessarily advocating it. It's just something there. It's a relic. I mean, even World War II veterans have stuff like this. It doesn't mean in any way. I mean, they were obviously fighting the Nazis. Right. So I think it's kind of a little bit ridiculous that this, you know, comes into the online sphere and there's a case over it when in real life we've been able to wander into stores and view this without any sort of objection.
All right, we're up against a break. When we come back, the creator of the Melissa virus is going to jail. Is he being punished or just groomed for a government job?